Okay, so I've taken the bridge plate off, I've taken the screws off. There's nothing ferrous now around this pickup, other than the plate on the bottom, which you can already hear is doing things, and probably my wedding ring. Or possibly not, I don't know what palladium is, whether it's ferrous or not, but as you can hear, oh, I've loosened it, there you go, that's a good test, isn't it? In fact, having it loose has made it a little less resonant than it was before I put the camera on. There we go. You can hear it if I excite that by touching it. That is ringing on its own. I think actually having it partially adhered probably made the spring effect worse. So if I turn the amp up a bit, or the guitar up at least, you can hear how that would ring and be excited by the mechanical effect of the pickup and springs around it. So I think I'll try and deaden that down and we'll see what happens. I don't think I said in the last section that this guitar is a Farida CT58, which is a sort of semi-hollow tele thing, which I got when I was doing demonstration work for Dawson's and the Farida brand. And if you dig around YouTube somewhere, you'll probably find videos of me looking very sad and mournful and people criticising me not smiling, which usually seems to happen. So you can't please everyone, can you? There we go. Right, I'll see what I can do with that and I'll do another video. So I've taken the base plate off the pickup and I used a hairdryer to warm it up and get as much wax off as I could. I've got some Sugru here which I don't think has gone off yet, hopefully it hasn't. And I'm going to just get it moulded in, and hopefully I'm doing this on the fly. I've not done it before, but I'm going to layer it on here, and if I've got any spurt I'll put it on the other side to act as a bit of extra deadening, but I don't want it too thick because it needs to be near to the bottom of the pickup as possible. So let's see what we can do. So this is the face of the pickup, which face of the base plate which meets the pickup, and the Sugru will form a sort of gasket. I'm kind of looking at the pickup as I'm doing this to try and weigh up, because I think what happened before was that having wax in certain places allowed some of it to be suspended and then act a little bit like a thumb piano or something like that, whereby the spare bits of copper could vibrate and act like a diaphragm on the microphone or whatever, and then the pickup could pick it up separately, and obviously any other mechanical movement was then getting absorbed into it. Now apparently this stuff, if you layer it 3mm thick, it cures in 24 hours. So I won't be able to tell the effect of this straight away, and I'm trying to, as I say, we're doing this on the fly. Trying to spread it out. Skin flint. Don't want it near the holes if I can avoid it, because knowing me, it'll get in the thread and affect all that. So really, I think it's a case of trying to deaden it all down. I'm probably repeating myself now, so shut up. I try to clean the from a distance, because I didn't want to get the motor of the hairdryer too close to the pickup. Tried to warm the pickup up a bit and get the wax off. I ended up using the cheapo scalpel blade to scratch wax off. It's all over my jacket and bloody all over the place, but hey, it's rock and roll. Somewhere I've got a picture of Pete Townsend attacking a Telecaster backstage before he was famous, so I don't think that's going to be, that's not even parallel with this. This is just me spitballing. Um, so let's see. Again, a hell of a job trying to desolder this, because obviously it's a good conductor of heat, and the iron that I've got just wasn't heating it up enough, and then while I was trying to manipulate it, the wire broke anyway. So hopefully I haven't killed the pickup. Just be the connecting wire to this thing. Let's have a look. What are we doing? That's looking ish. Still ringing, isn't it? But we'll see. The beauty of Sugru is that it is, you can go the other way. You can remove it. It's not a permanent bond, but it does stick. It does bond to things in a fashion. So I suspect that I might have to put some on the other side to really kill this. But let's have a look. My darling wife would follow me with a don't show them the carpet. Right, so let's have a look. Okay, so I've tried to key this area up with the knife blade, remove as much wax as possible without cutting through any fragile wires, and let's see if I can get this to go nearly flat. Line the holes up. Yeah. What I actually might do is use the screws and springs and go in the other way to just keep pressure on the base plate so that it squeezes down semi-equally, and I know that the lines are holed up and that the holes are lined up. Too late to be doing this kind of thing. I'm speaking proper. And I've got a rough idea that I've got equal pressure, and while it's drying and setting, if it shrinks or anything like that, it should keep it reasonably even. And hopefully, if I haven't killed the pickup with the hairdryer or my scalpel blade, there'll be an improvement and I can go out squeal free. Not the wrong kinds of squeals anyway. Yep. I think we'll call that on. Can it be squeezed down anymore? This may well end up as an exercise in what not to do, but the pickup wasn't being used. It was given to me by a friend who wasn't using it very kindly. Hope he doesn't feel like I'm abusing it. And I love the sound of it, and hopefully, I mean, I haven't got it, you can see there's probably 1.5 to 2 millimeters gap there. It's probably not the ideal, but it's probably enough as well. It's even, it's got pressure on it all around. You can see the wax everywhere that I flaked off before. Sounds a lot better than it did. Let's have a look. Tell you what we'll do, even though it's not set, just for a bit of fun, before it sets, I'll plug it in and see what noises it's making, and I will continue the video in the future. Well, let's plug it in and see what happens. So this needs regrounding and soldering back to the pickup. I'm actually going to have to switch the ground on it because I discovered that when I got to the gig that in my usual style that things were not as I expected them to be. Hadn't accounted for the fact that the fantastic Cat's Whisker and Fat Moggy pickup was out of phase with the Seymour Duncan. So I'm going to have to swap the phase, and at the same time I'm going to have to reground this bridge plate to the other side. In fact, I'll add a wire to it for its own so it's grounded, but that's a subject for another thing. But you can hear that volume is much the same as it was before. It's still microphonic, but nothing like it was. Now these springs weren't on there when I did the pickup out of the bridge test. So they may be adding some microphonics, and when this is set I'll take them off and do another quick video to hear. But there's a lot less ringing than there was, he says. I think that's that spring there, as I say. We'll find out. And as we heard before, there were microphonics even without the screws. I think that may well have gone now. I could tell when I was listening to it, as I was handling it before when I was putting the Sugru on. So I'll have to let it set. It's probably going to take the best part of a day or two, but it's not going to get used in that time, and so I've got other things to tinker with. So we'll see, and then the next step is the silicone tubing instead of springs, and hopefully all this will contribute towards sorting it out. Yeah, so this is all practical stuff without fancy tools, without a fancy bench, without a fancy camera. I might do a series of these videos. I might call it Hairy Arse Guitar Repairs or Hairy Arse Guitar Tips or something uncouth like that. Probably fitting to me. I've got some other hairy arse projects on the go at the moment with amps and things. Sugru, that black stuff, if you don't know what it is, it's a mouldable rubber that goes off and sets and sticks to things. It's great, you can do all sorts with it. I've just been given very kindly given an attenuator which had its two front feet missing, so I've made some nice rubber feet off that to get it lifted up so it's able to cool and sit properly and can get air underneath it. And again, it's sort of practical, rough repairing of things. Yeah, I think there's probably tutorials with a difference there. We'll see. So I will do something when this is set and I take my springs and screws off it, and we'll see how much. I think maybe a bit more of the stuff on the back just to kill it down perhaps might help. The problem is, although it's going to help because it's sticking the whole thing, it is still a light substance, and consequently it's not going to reduce the pitch of whatever oscillation is there or whatever parasitic noise there is, because it's not adding a lot of weight, so it's not going to lower the pitch dramatically or the frequency of it, but it may well be enough just to stop that ringing. And we'll see. I might have to play with it a bit. Another thing I might be doing with this guitar, I'm tempted to get one of those half bridges, and because of this nice bit of wood here. It is a lovely guitar. It was an exceptional one. As I say, I received it when I was demonstrating for Really Guitars for Dawson's, and it's a shame to cover this bit up with the metal really, so I quite fancy one of those Wilkinson half half bridges. And the other thing with it is I'm so used to playing SG and Les Paul type guitars, and the string tension being different, that the strings going all the way through this, I find it a bit stiff. So I would quite like to try a top loading bridge to see if that softens it up a bit. Anyway, waffling. Should probably hoover the carpet before I do this again. That's be the subject of a good domestic in a minute. Right. Thank you. We'll try and make a bit of a series out of it.